So Stellar Blade once again dropped us some awesome details that has fans praising the devs and again adding more to the highly anticipated launch. Details include 3 graphic modes, fishing, cosmetics and no microtransactions, and a pretty baller statement from the director. We got a lot to talk about in this one, so let's begin. What's up everybody, it's your boy Saga bringing you awesome fast information regarding all things PlayStation gaming. If you enjoy content that respects your time, hit the like button to get this video out to other gaming fans, but if you didn't like the video, leave me a dislike so I know exactly where to improve. So yeah, the team over at Shift Up recently had a sit down and went over some information about Stellar Blade's upcoming launch, as well as some general information about the game that they actually weren't able to cover in the limited time they had at State of Play. Now obviously one of the biggest and most talked about things in the game is Eve's appearance, most notably her backside. The game director was asked about that directly and his response was this: "When it comes to the design, we put special attention on the back of the character because the player is always facing the back of the character when they're playing." Now obviously this makes a lot of sense since the perspective of the player would generally be behind her. And while her front will have more details, again we're playing from behind, so it makes a lot of sense that the backside be a little bit more appealing. Now personally I do want to say huge W for the director there. It's actually pretty difficult these days to get someone to give a real response and not just like pander to anyone. Yeah, of course, Eve's backside looked great and designed specifically to be appealing. Now I stand by this, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a woman being attractive in a video game. As long as the gameplay itself is genuine in nature and they're not like shamelessly cash grabbing like a lot of games actually do, I don't personally ever have an issue with it. At this point, looking at the trailer, the information, and pretty much everything about Stellar Blade, there's no way you can deny at this point that it's a really good game, or at least a actual game, but again with a little bit of attention to the backside of the character. Now moving on, we got some more details on the graphic modes, and according to Lee, there'll be a total of 3 modes that you can pretty much utilize. First, there's going to be a performance mode which allows up to 60 FPS, which is going to be like very visually appealing. There's also a resolution mode where you can enjoy the game at 4K resolution. And then there is a balance mode in which you can find balance between the 2 previous modes. Now I know a lot of players don't really care, as long as they get that 30 to 60 FPS, I'm sure they're fine. But yeah, we got a few more options, which I always think more options is always better. Now finally, Shift Up was asked, is there perhaps a feature in Stellar Blade that you're particularly fond of, but hasn't had as much of a spotlight yet? And Shift Up response was just this: "We weren't able to show as many fights as we could have shown, so we want to show the appeal and the charm of the battles we offer in the game." And I think a lot of people know by now that there are a lot of costumes in the game. But these costumes are all available in the game, either through an exploration or by making your own costume or just going to the shop and buying them. I'm assuming they mean like the in-game shop, not like the PlayStation Store or anything like that. And besides combat, we also want to focus on other content. For example, you can go fishing, or you can make your own costume or collect objects. So as you can see, there seemingly won't be any microtransaction, just us playing and enjoying the content for what it is. With that in mind, I'm wondering what other modes or things that you can actually do in the game. Up until recently, we never heard anything about fishing. Of course, I'm sure a lot of this has to do with the limited time that they have, but again, looks like we're getting a ton of more hidden features coming to light as we get closer to the launch. Either way, at this point is pretty undeniable. The game looks amazing, the dev team cares, and they put a lot of years into the game and seemingly built it with the players in mind. Of course, the game has been getting a lot of hate, but in my eyes, it looks like Stellar Blade is going to be a really legit game coming out in April. Speaking of many years of work, on screen now, we finally got some information on the secret movement focused game that Respawn Entertainment has been working on for many years. Check it out.